Marilyn Harp. Will you please come forward? She is to receive the Distinguished Service Award. I've known Marilyn for years. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual for continuous, long-standing service on behalf of the legal profession or the public, rather than the successful accomplishment of a single task or service. The standards for this award require the recipient to be a lawyer who has made a significant contribution to the altruistic goals of the legal profession or the public, and again, is only given when there is a worthy recipient. Marilyn's tireless efforts to ensure access to justice for our fellow Kansans through Kansas Legal Services serves as an inspiration to both private and KLS attorneys, reminding us of the historic obligation of lawyers to give back to society. As funding sources have diminished, Marilyn has aggressively and creatively discovered alternative sources of funding and resourcefully managed the scant funding KLS has maintained. Marilyn constantly looks for ways to expand legal services for the poor, incorporating advances in technology, securing pro bono commitments from private attorneys, and even developing the new emeritus rule which allows retired and inactive attorneys to provide pro bono legal services through KLS. Her work in developing and revamping forms for self-represented litigants has been recognized by various legal service organizations in other states who now use those forms as a model for expanding access to justice. Marilyn is a former KBA board member and is well known in our state as a champion for pro bono legal services. Her work has directly benefited our fellow Kansans and has clearly enhanced the reputation of the legal profession in this state. Congratulations.
I've been with Kansas Legal Services about 40 years at this point, and it wasn't too long into the job that I realized that the availability of civil legal services was not going to meet all the needs out there. In fact, I think the statistics are that we have one attorney for about every 12,500 poor people. So as hard as our staff work, they just aren't going to meet that need. And so some ideas and some ways of finding some other solutions were high on my priority list. At the same time, or a few years later, the courts realized that they had an awful lot of people showing up in court as self-represented litigants. In fact, I think the statistics in our state are that in some cases 70% of the cases in family court have one or have at least one self-represented litigant. And in Chapter 61 court, the statistics are even higher about unrepresented people. So the courts began looking for solutions, and it was just a great partnership to work together. So the status of things now is that there are 11 courts that have help centers. KLS has been proud to be a part of all of those in some way, making forms available. But truly, as Sarah mentioned, the best resource we can bring to the table is by sponsoring either inactive or retired attorneys who still have a piece to give and provide training and support and really the cover for them to continue working on a pro bono basis in some of these self-help centers or with our elder hotline or other ways. So there's never an end to legal practice. I hear that all the time. Some people choose to make their their license a retired status, but that's not an end either. So I hope at the point in time each of you hit that point, you'll think about how to do that. And thank you very much for this award.